When I heard I won the award, I was elated. It was amazing. It's so flattering, it's humbling to be recognised, doing something that we take for granted. We love the work we do with our vulnerable clients, but to be recognised for doing it in this way was just unbelievably brilliant. Haven't really stopped smiling since. So the process and and the procedures and the things we've integrated to support our vulnerable clients that I think impress the judges enough for us to win is that in part the integration then of the academic work I've been doing at the University of Gloucester with my MSc and now my PhD, looking at how vulnerable clients make judgments, and so I'm interested in how a vulnerability impacts that judgment. And so we've taken that academic research and integrated it into our way we deal with our vulnerable clients on the ground with our advisors across the practice. And so that integration piece in part, and sitting alongside that is that communication piece of understanding how we communicate really complicated ideas to our clients. So making sure, for example, not only do we describe things in the conventional sort of words and numbers, sort of that classic letter form, but also sometimes pictorially, understanding people, sometimes left brain or right brain, dominant, understand that information differently. So it's kind of that integration piece of trying to take all this academic research that we've done, sitting alongside then our personal and practical experience of dealing with vulnerable clients, and normalizing that in the way we communicate with our clients so they have a better understanding of what we're doing, make better judgments themselves, and hopefully enjoy better outcomes as clients. Our single biggest challenge when dealing with vulnerable customers is always fluctuating capacity. I think that's the hardest thing that we deal with. The idea that a client can go from being, completely competent, comfortably making capacitous decisions one moment, one day, one morning, to in the afternoon not in that position and making incapacitous decisions that would not meet the legal capacity test is really, really hard to deal with. How do you deal with somebody who quite reasonably legally does something one day, then undermines it the next day, navigating through that? The one thing we're going to try to do to ramp up our presence on the vulnerability agenda next year is going to do a bit more teaching. That's in sort of parallel to the public seminars we do to clients or potential clients, and they really are educational rather than marketing, understanding some of the details around how to select a good care home, the options around funding care homes are good examples, but also how to access financial advice. Some of that stuff we'll carry on doing, but I think we're going to start to do a bit more teaching to other financial advisors to give them opportunities to learn, to discuss and find a platform to try to refine the skills in this space that you need. It's really hard if you're not in this space, it's really hard to get into this space. It's almost the sheer breadth of knowledge you need to have absorbed before you can be really good in this space is overwhelming. In terms of evaluating and benchmarking the training needs of our staff, I think we start from the presumption that everybody, advisor or not, in the practice takes the building block RO exams with the CII. I think that formal knowledge is useful and helps make everybody a great gatekeeper to what we do and supporting clients. In terms of ensuring consistency of approach within our business, largely that comes down from sharing our time together and sharing information. So our advisor team and the entire practice get together as often as we can in this sort of post-pandemic world where I've got quite a lot of us working via Zoom some of the time. We still pull everybody in together at least once a fortnight so we can talk about the cases that we've got and what's going on, how we feel, what we've learnt. We spend a lot of time when we're not face-to-face on Zoom with each other, sharing knowledge about what types of cases where we're stuck, what we can learn from it. And then in terms of what we also try to keep is a library of communication. So sometimes when we've been asked to explain something to a particular client who's finding it hard to understand. What was the turn of phrase? What was the expression did we use that helped unlock that conversation? And almost say, look, it was really hard. This client sort of having difficulty understanding how continuing healthcare worked. But when I explained it like this, it was that made all the difference. And so we're trying to build up a library of here's been our most successful wins in explaining some of the things that we do and some of the complicated ideas, so that we can share those and reuse those together. Move the dialogue away from is somebody vulnerable or not to a more nuanced but more important question: to what extent is that vulnerability impacting their judgment? The other is simply, and as trite as boring as it is just keep on that CPD journey, keep that learning going, because we take the exam, we put the exam book away and go, yeah, I've done that. And then we sort of almost look at the CPD like, well, it's just a necessary evil. My view is really engage in it. Look at the next thing to go and do. Does that mean getting on the journey to chartered? Does that mean going on to go and look at things like the MSCs that are available now? What are the just that learning piece is, I think, my sort of second big thing I've been looking to try and do as an initiative.